Hey guys, welcome back. Happy Money Monday to you. It's November 17th. It is Monday. Sorry about my absence. Been a little hit or miss on the video recaps. I have been trading. I just haven't done a whole lot of videos this last week. It's been rough. I haven't had very good days, honestly. Need to evaluate. But yeah, I'm gonna try and do more. Get back into doing daily recaps. I think I only missed probably like 3 or 4 days total in the last 2 weeks. But yeah, not acceptable. I'll review them for the most part, but it's just been, I don't know. It's not been pretty rad. I've just been sick of losing. Anyways, we're back today, and small account challenge. We're going to view that and the 0-day trades I took today on SPY. Small account is red again today. I'm on like, I don't even know, 3-4 days red now. So I've been careful to scale back and just trading single contracts now. Not averaging in or anything like that for the most part. Today, I feel like I probably could have done pretty well on the small account. I did good on the large account, but by the time there was good price action for the large account, or at least what I liked, I was out of buying power on the small account. So large account, I'm gonna show you a trade. It was a great one, so I don't feel totally bad about today. I think after last week, I was kind of, by the end of the week, I was in just a bit of despair, and I think it helped me to just kind of buckle down and focus, and really focus on what I need to be doing. And it's too soon to tell, but so far today it's helped. I'm taking notes again. I had a whole list of notes I would review every day, and it's kind of funny to go back and review some of them, but they're good notes. It's like rules / notes, and I added some to it last week for the first time in, I don't know, 6 months. I added some, so, and I think they're good. Just trying to reflect, like really focus on what I'm doing wrong and how to improve, and actually just, yeah, I don't know, buckling down a bit. So I added some notes. They're good. I don't know if I'll share them today or not, but you'll maybe start to recognize them in my trading if you're keeping aware. Today, let's see. Excuse me. So on the 30-minute, we are down below 5 and 20. Today's a pretty nice day. The last couple days, actually, as far as range, has been large. Here's Eric's chart. This is SPY Day Trading on YouTube. His 30-minute chart. Link for his Discord in the description. So yesterday or Friday, we had a pretty big day. Thursday, these were all pretty big days. I think today was like a 10-point day or maybe more. And yeah, usually Mondays, Happy Money Mondays have been sad money red days. It's just been trappy for the last like while. They've turned into kind of my Fridays. Just seems like always a trap on Monday, but today was better. So I think, I don't remember where we gapped. We gapped down. Yeah, it was maybe a little gap down. Where are we? Friday? No, not much of a gap. Maybe just a little one. Yeah, a little gap down. Filled that gap right away, and I started with this white precision buying channel, and then got the gold tapering one right here. This was drawn from these resistances as well as these supports. So I'm not looking at Eric or Emperor's chart. I did towards later in the day, but in the beginning it was just my own charting, which I think helps me just have more confidence in it and to not overtrade. So then tapering, I'm looking potentially for a short. We do have liquidity right here for a shoulder. Have a nice more confirmation of gold here. One thing that I'm actually trying to really identify who is doing the buying and selling, which algorithm is controlling the price action. And like I've done it before, but I guess really focusing on that today was at least helping me to know kind of what I'm looking out for and anticipating it, instead of just kind of, oh, this broke here, let's go that way, or this and that. So But even that, with all that, of course, I'm still red today. Let me see what my first trade was. Yeah, I think my first trade was a retracement trade or a zombie trade. Yeah, right here. So purple, I charted right here with, where did I get that started at? I think it was from this. Yeah, these resistances. Then flipping into support here. It's not quite lined up on that one. So maybe it wasn't quite that as aggressive. I didn't really use this one a whole lot today because it was mostly selling. And this is bullish controlled buying. So anyways, it built some liquidity here, broke out of it, retested it, did it again, retested, but at this point we're at the top of my gold resistance tapering channel here. So a little bit of liquidity up here for an inverse head potentially, and a bounce on this liquidity, a rejection of it. And I'm gonna start, hopefully, yeah, well, I'm gonna try and start drawing in more horizontal lines for liquidity levels and basing my stops on those, not just the channels, which I think will help because I've noticed I was stopping out of a lot of trades that were working just because it wasn't selling or buying in the specific channel that I drew, even though it didn't need to. It can, yeah, can dance around, and as long as it doesn't start grabbing the liquidity it's rejecting, might as well stay in the trade. So anyways, I got this one. I got this trade right here. It was a fair trade. I had gold for my stop. I figured this is, you know, at a nice support. It's rejecting that liquidity at that point. I guess after it built a few candles here and was showing that it was kind of bouncing on gold, which is bearish. Guess I could have cut it, but I'm not too sad about this trade, honestly. Like, it was a good entry. I think it very well could have continued to rally up in this tapering channel. On the 30-minute chart, there weren't really any clues, like wasn't at a certain resistance or anything, so I'm fine with it. The only clue would have been that it did start building liquidity here. It didn't look much like an inverse head, but it doesn't always. Sometimes it'll do this and then still rally up. So anyways, got one there, closed it out here. Oh, and then E-Trade changed their policy, and so now they're giving me delayed data, and I didn't know that. I like took my first trade. I'm like, what is going on with this pricing? So it's giving me 15-minute delayed data now. So you have to pay for live data from E-Trade unless you have a $10,000 account or more. I'm on a small account on E-Trade, so I'm like, I don't, just the nickel and diming. I think I'm just gonna leave E-Trade. It's dumb. I like Webull. I use Webull for the margin account. I have a cash account on there too, so I might just leave E-Trade. That kind of threw me off this morning because I was like, well, maybe I can just trade with delayed pricing. I'm like, there's no problem. I'm getting in and getting out a certain price. Like, how does it actually work? It's not gonna like give me those old prices. It is actually super weird to do though, because it's like sometimes it's delayed. Like on the actual options chain, it's 15-minute delayed, but when you click into it to the order and you market order, then it gives you the updated price. But then it's not always updating that fast. It was kind of some of the trades, and then on the positions, it was saying I was up a bunch. I'm like, because it's showing me delayed data. It was weird. So it kind of threw me off in the first few trades. I kind of stopped, but then I was like, I guess I can kind of manage it a little bit. I don't know. It worked, but it definitely threw me off a little bit on the beginning. So 1001 to 1003, 92 cents to 89 cents. Here's my stop. Stopped on this one. So that candle closed below gold, and then I was out of it. And since I was in that one, I kind of missed this opportunity to get puts. Getting puts there would have been for a grab of this liquidity, a break of the gold, nice little head and shoulders here. I guess lack of patience. Maybe I could have waited for, well, see, even this, see, it even broke that too. My red selling. That was another reason why I went long there, which I think is fine. I just needed to be able to, I didn't flip into puts because of what I realized was going on with the option pricing, I think. Yeah, I was like, what is happening? Because later in the day, you'll see if I'm wrong, and it happened actually 2 other times today, where I had the inflection right, and it just did a little stop out and then reversed. And I was like, I went the wrong way, stopped out, and then flipped it because I saw what was going on. It just was basically building a little head, and I just got caught in it. 1029. this was a pretty big loss. Partially because I the pricing I couldn't see, which maybe was helping me some, but on the losses they were a little bit larger, because I wasn't, I guess, thinking about it, which is a good thing. But 1029 calls. Let's see. Yep. So purple building liquidity would be bullish, and it was. And then it broke it here along with VWAP, and so I got on this next kind of little retracement candle. Hadn't completed inverse cup. To me, was still looking bullish. I had gold, but I didn't want to use gold for my stop necessarily. I think I did end up stopping on gold, just because, yeah, I'd like it to be in a stronger buying, because this is the bears controlling it. Not to say they can't both agree on raising the price mutually, but yeah, this big red candle worked me, and this to me looked like a little head being built, little stop hunt. Turns out it was just selling in purple throughout here. That was the 1029, 1032. That was 93 cents to 67 cents. Yeah, that candle sucked. So I probably did end up just closing it down here, because I was wondering if it's just coming down to wick and like bounce on gold for support and make this little inverse head and shoulder right here, which it does often. I didn't do it, so closed it down here, and that was a pretty nasty red trade actually. I guess I kind of knew it was in the middle of a wedge, purple being the top, gold being the bottom, but I didn't have a more mellow support, like a more mellow bearish controlled buying. So to me, it had already broken the bearish one, which would make it bearish, but yeah. Anyways, starts selling in purple, which to me is well, it's, as you see, it's going back and forth, and that's basically what the wedge is. At least that's kind of what I'm deducting from what's going on here. It buying this gold is bearish, then it's selling overall in this purple is bullish. So it's in equilibrium. It's a balanced price basically, and that's where it's building liquidity until it creates an imbalance. So with that, you could take trades either way, on resistances or support, preferably with a trend. So taking puts on purple resistance here is viable, and then seeing gold as take profit, or the purple as a stop, and then you could go the other way too with gold, but that's kind of counter trend. Even though on a larger time frame, I think this is bullish, this controlled selling. So, anyways, what was the next trade? 33. Yeah, this one, the option price was so jacked up. I thought this was a pretty green trade, and then I was like, what? It's one penny. 120 to 121, 1033 to 1034. I don't know how this happened. I forgot. I was gonna try and sort this out so tomorrow I can have normal pricing. I don't know. Maybe I'll just pay it for the month and then try and transfer it out. Something. I don't know the fastest way to do it. 1033. So I did. So here I did flip. Is that right? Yeah. So I flipped to puts right here because I broke the gold. Nice little head and shoulders. And I knew this was basically my first take profit though if it didn't continue on. And so I did. I took profit there, but ended up only being a penny. Was it 33, 34? Yeah, I mean, this was on a green candle, but anyways, yeah. So tiny little green trade there, which, whatever. 1103 to 1106 red trade. Let's see. So continue to sell down. This one was just trying to get a bounce on purple. The reason why I wasn't going down and I was going kind of counter trend because it was selling in purples, because to me purple was still bullish. If it doesn't complete the inverse cup, it's going to be a nice retracement trade. And this was the next time it tested it right here. So yeah, I got a call there, I think. Yeah. That was 57 cents to 51. Closed it out on this candle, 1106. So kind of an inflection point right here, because then it did actually end up breaking that controlled selling right here with this candle and this little tiny head and shoulders, and completing the inverse cup. So potentially, if I wasn't in the calls there and I was just a little patient, I maybe would have caught this or caught on a retrace. This was kind of a choppy, grindy area though, so I'm not sure if I would have held through there to make more profit. Because this isn't really a specific level for me down here. That being said, I think I maybe did actually catch this trade after all. Let me see. Yeah, let me see. Where are we at? Yeah, I did. Okay. Okay, yeah, this one I was stoked about because for me, this was kind of validating what I was working on, well, since basically Friday, and just focusing and over the weekend. Just really trusting my channels and what I know is buying and selling and who's controlling the price action. So complete the inverse cup. Oh, I don't know what that was for. It came up and rejected that controlled selling by the bulls. So this was an inverse cup, and then this was a tiny handle. So normally I would think, oh, it's gonna make a big handle. However, the fact that it rejected that, I put in gold for liquidity being built by the bears, rejected that, and made this tiny little wedge here, broke the gold, and I went short right here on this candle, on the next candle, on a little retest of the gold. Tight little range, but this was a great trade, and I'm happy about it. I almost took puts here, but I'm like, well, this is a very tight range. I don't really want to try and catch a top here. I was like, if this actually is the tiny handle, I'll maybe wait and see if it breaks. I potentially had controlled or a precision selling here too, which was helped to manage my position. I think maybe I did, but yeah. So that one was. You see this when I show the review at the end. That one was. Oh yeah, this was way too deep in the money because it was delayed. Let's see. Was it? Wait, what strike is that? Yeah, what the heck? This was 6. Oh no, this one wasn't. No, this wasn't too bad. One of them was like super deep in the money. Oh, that was later. Since it was delayed pricing, I got the wrong strike on one of them. But anyways, this one was fine. This was 667 puts. So got it for 112, sold it for 130 at 11.15. So on this candle, not at the bottom of it. It was like right here. So it didn't catch the very bottom, but like I said, I didn't really have any reason to close it here. My target was lower. There's just some pretty nice candles. I knew this handle was very small, and so that also gave me some insight to how small of a move it will probably be. If this had made a nice large structure for, nice head and shoulder for a handle, then I'd think, okay, there's more liquidity to drop it down further. The fact that it was so tiny, I was quick on profits. So happy to have gotten in that one and gotten out. This retracement, I kind of stepped away after that for a bit because I was stoked. I was like, all right, cool. I think I was back to 0, which was pretty good after all the trading through here and that big red trade. And I did miss this. Coming back to the computer, I saw it like kind of somewhere in here, and I'm like, I don't even know where to get an entry. And looking back on it, yeah, I guess I could have said breaking back into the purple, and then just having white as the precision could have been an entry potentially, since this was the same principle as it breaking purple here and going long would be of breaking it here, even though it had completed the inverse cup just as a retracement trade. If not here, then on a retrace like this one right here. So and then it did it again here, had a few of them. So it broke purple here, retraced here, broke it again here, retested it there. This one was probably more legitimate because this one is kind of in the middle of nowhere. I guess it's from back here. Yeah, it's from the resistance from back here. Either one of those could have worked. This one, bit of a chase, but could have with this white precision. But I kind of just let this whole thing go because yeah. So I don't think I caught anything in there. I just didn't want to. 1236. There's your red trade, 1236, 1237 puts for calls. Let's see. Okay, yeah, remember this. So yeah, this was the flip. This was the flip. At this point, it had completed the inverse cup, and I kind of had that in the back of my head. And I'm like, I don't want to get too bullish. It has a nice inverse head and shoulder here, of course, but didn't complete the cup to the upside. On the 30-minute, kind of just in the middle of a wedge, not a whole lot of clues there. It starts building liquidity here. This is what made me kind of bullish on it. Starts building liquidity here with the purple. So the controlled selling, and so I'm thinking, okay, I kind of want to go long. It's not great structure, and that looking at it now, that should have been I should have just waited for the cup to close since it didn't give a very nice inverse head. So it came out, broke purple, and I'm thinking, okay, that's what I wanted. I'll have gold for my stop. So broke it here. I think I got in right there. Yeah, 1236. I got on the next candle actually, so I'm trying to get it on a retest, and then it just flushed through. So 49 cents to 40, 36 to 37. So yeah, this is why Eric says no structure, no trade. The problem with that is you can always give yourself confirmation bias and see, okay, here's a head, here's a shoulder, and just grabbing the shoulder up here, whatever. You kind of get used to what looks good, and if it doesn't look good to you, you're just not ready to trade it. So you kind of get used to setups, and as you get more comfortable, I guess you'll see more, and that will help you to see less also. That's stuff that's not good. Anyways, got it on this candle, close it on this one, and then of course that was just a little stop hunt, the little head to grab this shoulder liquidity to come down. So the inflection point was right. I had all that correct. I had the direction wrong. I got played. Looking at it now, of course, it's a nice little head and shoulder there on the resistance of this all liquidity being built. I don't think I flipped on this one. Let me see if I did. No, I didn't. Nope, another red trade. 1249 to 1251. Yeah, I missed all this down. So now I'm thinking potentially for a cup and a handle. Although, of course, I haven't completed the larger cup. Okay, yeah, this is trying to catch a head or zoomy or retracement. Okay, this is also because of horizontal. So my horizontal level here for support. I have the blue line there. Part of the reasoning for this trade. So I noticed gold is building liquidity for bears, right? But that can also be used for my stop as a long. So at any rate, I got it on this candle. I don't know where on that candle. It was a little late. But yeah, I got a call there. And closed it out on this candle. And then that made a perfect nice little head and shoulder with breaking gold and gold building liquidity. However, this is kind of still in the middle of a range. To me at least. But it did, I mean, it had broken the gold from up here, which it showed support, and then liquidity build before it made that head and shoulder on it. So potentially it's bearish until it breaks purple back up here. But really looking for the inverse cup to close. So anyways, nice little micro head and shoulder here, which I do recognize those. Did I do it on that one? I can't remember. I did. Okay, so that was the one that I flipped on also. Or sorry, I flipped my position. So 1251 I actually did get a put there because of that micro head and shoulder. Because of it breaking all the yellow, I'm like, okay, we're also still technically a bear flag. We haven't completed the cup on the upside. I can use red for my precision. I was thinking that. Something like that. On the 30-minute, I think it was maybe at yeah, it still was kind of in a wedge on the 30-minute. But this was a nice trade. At 175. Oh, this was the one that was a wrong strike. Yeah, because I kind of quick, as you can tell, I kind of quick got in because I was in calls, close the calls, and quick jump into a put. And since my option chain was 15-minute delayed, it got me put way in the money. 671. Not way in the money, I guess, just right here. There's just a high delta. So unfortunately, the large move didn't yield much in returns percentage wise. So 175 I got it for, sold it for 203 at 1256. Didn't really have much. Okay, actually maybe I did 1256 on this candle. Breaking my precision selling, and then I think also at this point I checked out Emperors to see if he had little clues there. No, he didn't. Yeah, I don't think he's really charting right then. Yeah, so sold it there. Nice little green trade. Given that it was kind of a chase, that was fine to just get out of it here. This one did go. This one on another like $30, unfortunately. But yeah, the option chart or the option pricing being delayed and all that kind of set me off a little bit, like threw me off. But yeah, 1251, 1256. So not bad. 175 to 203. And then one more trade, I was out of buying power. So all that action before the big move. 131 to 142 puts. Where is that? 131 to 142. I think this was a lack of structure. Yeah. So then here I was looking at Emperor's chart. So right here I got it on the break and on Emperor's chart. Let's see if it's still the same. Maybe changed it. Yeah, he's changed it. So he had this gold line right here, which is a less aggressive bearish controlled buying. So mine's pretty close to his magenta, but then this gold one was right here, so it had broken it, and that's why I got it. He then moved it down here because, you know, this was not building the structure, basically. But that sometimes can trap you, and that's why you're looking for actual structure like this beautiful head and shoulders, which I did catch on the big account. Small account here, though, I'll give you a little review. So yeah, that last trade was a red one because of those reasons. 63 cents to 45 is a pretty large red one, actually. Not down much on the small account, though, after all those trades. 18 bucks. So there's the trades I was just reviewing. 18 bucks, so not bad. I had a couple good winners in there. Percentage, like, accuracy-wise, kind of low, but I'm not too sad about it. I'm proud that I flipped this one around from puts to call, or calls to puts. Wish I was more alert for this one. This one up here, I wish I flipped around, but then I fixed it by flipping for that one, I guess. This one I should have been more patient on, look for structure. This one I should have been more complacent on, or not non-complacent, like diligent. I guess that's the opposite. In here, I don't feel like I overtraded a little. Like, of course, I overtraded in hindsight, but I only think I took 2 trades in here. So, yeah, I guess I could have just been more patient, waiting for cups, or breaking out, or moving out of the wedge. This was good. This, yeah, I like to look at Emperor's chart when I'm trying to force a trade, I guess, because I see more lines and should have been patient. However, after I ran out of buying power for that, kind of step back. I'm like, dang, end of the day red. That's okay. A small red day. I think I'm learning. I think I'm improving from last week, just one step at a time. I didn't even quite complete the inverse cup, but that didn't actually really matter. So built this liquidity. Am I even gonna be able to show that? I closed it out. I'm gonna open it up. I'm gonna do it. Yeah, it's gonna be. I gotta see it. Where is it? I wish there was a way. Shoot. I don't know if I can do this. Can I do it like this? Yeah, sorry guys, this is how I'm gonna have to do it. There's not a way to pause my recording. I just use a Streamlabs desktop, OBS or whatever, and you can't pause recording on here. I know I go back and edit it, but that defeats the purpose for me. So what I'm having to do is turn the screen off temporarily. You can just get some ASMR with my voice and this lovely Yaz music. And then as we open up Crappy Fidelity Trader Plus and watch it load, they updated it. I just wish they got rid of all the crappy bugs and stuff. Gosh, they're annoying. Going to closed positions, what we did on the day. Get back a little profit, but let me show you guys this. Here we go, and voila. Okay, so this was it. Bought two. These are SPX, 2 at 980 at 152. And then I put a limit order at the bid shortly thereafter. So it came up. I saw a nice head. Still bearish. Have liquidity here. And at this point on the 30-minute too, I think I even referenced that for it breaking. What time is that at? 1, 2, yeah, 2 o'clock. So yeah, it had just broken. It had already broken this line down here, I think. Yeah, it had broken this one right here. I don't know if Eric had that green line in there yet. We're down here. So I was thinking it could potentially complete this inverse cup. Also, there's a target to this blue support down there for that channel. Anyways, yeah, 132, 152 right there. That's where I got first two, and then this green candle filled one more for me. And I actually was not even really paying attention too much. Like I said, after this trade, I started doing other stuff, and then I saw it happen, and I'm like, all right, I'll put the liquidity line here, and I'll put an alert. And potentially, if I was still staring at it, I would have gotten a little sooner, which I'm not in the practice of doing, but I want to start doing. Just seeing steep buying for a nice head, and then this big engulfing candle, and then just putting in my precision and just sending it and using that as my stop once I see momentum. It's definitely one way to trade, and I don't do it a whole lot, but I see Emperor doing it, and as I get more comfortable, I think I'll be able to do it, just anticipating it more. Because this head basically was made, it wasn't like at a resistance for me necessarily. I mean, kind of this one, but it wasn't like at this one or VWAP where I'm like, oh, okay, I'll just go short there. So then I'm typically waiting for it to break, but you can anticipate it and jump in as you see big bodied candles engulfing, especially increased volume, especially if you have your selling precision for your risk management. But I didn't at this case. Anyways, broke there, 2 there, bought 1 more there, and then I was trying to distract myself after that. I was trying to not look at anything. I was just like, I'm just gonna do other stuff. I'm just gonna have alerts because this made a nice head, and I want to just let this thing run. Practicing good risk management, but if I can stay away from touching the keyboard and the mouse and just let the thing do the job, it works the best. So anyways, exiting first one, so 980, bought the first 2 for, bought this third one for 880, sold the first one for 1420 at 155. So didn't do too good of a job, but big red candle. I was like, all right, I gotta take profits, and it had to complete the inverse cup on the 30-minute. 155. Yeah, I think it was pretty close to that take profit on the 30-minute also. I wasn't even looking at the dollar amount. The dollar amount was pretty big though. Because when I closed it, I saw it. I'm like, okay, it's good. I'm closing at least one. Second one went up 1990. I was at 159, so I waited another 4 minutes. Which those 4 minutes are so long. This one I closed because it was at the bottom of basically the selling algo there, and I think I was looking at Emperors there also for a little bit of extra support. Yeah, so he kind of moved his blue, but this was basically selling this blue, and it was hitting the bottom of the blue, and so I was like, I'm gonna dump 1 more there. My actual target was this yellow down here, but if it's going to build liquidity, make a huge move up, then that last one I'm going to stop out, break even. So that's why I'm taking more, even though I only have 3. I'd already taken 2 off. But then this last one, yes, I sat on my hands, forced myself not to close it sooner. 204 for 2440. 204. So this one actually I did sit through a liquidity build sesh right here, and then a couple big red candles, and then this one started to kind of show some weakness, and I think this was at maybe some level. No, it was close to that yellow level, I think. No, it wasn't even. I just closed it. I think on the 30-minute maybe it was. yeah, so I'm happy with that exit. Sure, it kept grinding down. This isn't nice price action for entering, really. I mean, I know Emperor did a couple. I'm not, yeah, whatever. It was fine not to. If I had more, potentially I'd say, yeah, I'll just hold one until, I guess this line is yesterday's low, I think. So I could have said I'll wait for that whole cup to close. With 3 I can, but that's a large percentage if I'm holding one of them for that move. Especially when I don't have like a track record of just consistent profits. So, yeah. So yeah, happy with that. I mean, that last trade, of course, made me feel better on the day. Just a couple of those though, where I flipped here. I wish I flipped there, and then confidence to go to do it there, and then to even get more, and then to be able to hold until really actually it was a great exit. But of course it could have gone even further, I guess. But whatever that percentage is, probably in the thumbnail. Thanks for watching, guys. Long video, I guess, because it's been a long time, so I've been updating you. Sub up, like up, comment down. Happy money sticks around. It's out.